pleasure having you for you at CRC. Professor Rajesh is Professor of Strategic Management at IIM Kozhikode. He teaches subjects like economics and strategy, which sounds very interesting. And his areas of interest are around industrial clustering, social networks, Indian IT industry. He has also done work around a lot of other research areas, and he has been a professor at XRI prior to joining IIM Kozhikode, and he's also a visiting professor at Sydney University. Thank you. Professor, just wanted to understand from you because and the discussion that we had, earlier you said you teach very, very esoteric subjects like economics and strategy, and here you also use in case studies. So we would like to understand how is case used in subjects like economics and strategy. We can understand maybe a marriage of economics and strategy, and we're kind of talking about a lot of models and theories and trying to understand principles around their strategic thinking and things like that. So what role does case study play there?
Yeah. So to give a brief on that, so basically economic strategy is a discipline that integrates economics into strategy. Obviously, you're already aware that strategy as a discipline evolved from economics. However, most of the strategy textbooks covers theories around the resource base and external environment analysis. So these are the two frameworks that broadly is used in building strategy as a discipline. However, there are further issues that can be covered. There are a lot of strategic decisions that firms make beyond looking at just competitive advantage. So there are issues like when will you make, when will you buy, where people use transaction costs. There are places where when you're looking at decisions of make or buy, people are trying to use. Also things like how do I manage the agent because and the principal, so there's a principal agent theory that comes in. So there are a number of theoretical perspectives that probably inform strategic decisions on make or buy or acquire or ally. So given that context, so a lot of such decisions are already captured in case studies. And there were discussions. So what I do is I take those decisions and give them readings of transaction costs or principal agents and try to see how they can apply it to those situations. Okay. So situation is already there in front of them. So how do people take this? How does transaction cost inform decision making in an organization if you're doing make or buy decisions? How do you manage your principal and agent problem when you're trying to make that decision? So these are some of the issues that can be captured very effectively using cases, including in courses like economics and strategy. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to move away from it. As an economist, you're always interested in the welfare of the society. While firms are also interested in the welfare of the society, but the primacy of the shareholder takes importance. And when the primacy of the shareholder takes importance, so while welfare is important, maximization of shareholder value is also important for you. So that turns it on the head. So when you look at the neoclassical paradigm, so what you're trying to do in a neoclassical paradigm is trying to, look at an introduction to firms as identical units. So they don't have any differences. But when you start breaking them, you have interesting issues. That's what strategy does. So strategy always says firms should be different and unique. And that's where the competitive advantage literature came in. But then, when firms are started becoming unit, so they start not sharing information. So that's where the principal agent issues come in. There is no transparency. Some people hide it. And some people, even if you don't want to hide, you may not know because it's a black box. Yeah. So all those issues can be captured within the cases which are written up, which has discussed these issues. So you can bring those discussions into the classroom using case method also.
So what is the source of this case study which you use? Like, are you kind of trying to use your own case studies you also write?
No. These are all published sources. In fact, I don't write as many cases as much as I teach cases. So I use sources across the world. So I use obviously cases from HBSP. I use cases from Ahmedabad Publishing House. I use cases from ECCH, the Case Center. I also use cases of IBS. So these are various sources which are very published. Only thing is, the important thing which I look for in a case is whether it has multiple perspectives. So there is, students can discuss those multiple perspectives in the classroom. So the selection of cases become really critical. So because some of the things, advantages of a case method over teaching this kind of a course which could be taught using just theory is when you teach a course to a manager using just theory, he might only look at that perspective. Whereas other perspectives may not have been discussed. When I'm looking at transaction, when I'm looking at a make or buy decision, people, and when you teach a transaction cost, people only look at transaction cost. But there are issues of principal agent while looking at transaction costs. Yeah. So these are not separate in a managerial decision. So case actually brings those together.
So you see all these facets coming into a case? Or
Yes.
Yes, I do. I do see the beauty of teaching through case.
Yes, that's the beauty of teaching through cases. So there are groups which will focus on one theory and there are groups which will focus on another. So, and that discussion actually tends to make the class more interesting.
A great, Prof. I think that was a great insight. We really appreciate the views and we look forward to you using more of case studies, you using more of ideas case studies as well. We look forward to having a continuous interaction with you and enrich the subject of strategy. Thank you so much.